Welcome, everyone, to Hacking Infinity, the Eschaton. How are you all?
Mob.
Great.
Muy bueno.
Excellent. Excellent. Uh, so, let's see. Um, so, we can. There's a couple of things I wanted to fiddle with before we jumped into actual play, but not a whole lot. And there's some options there. Let's see.
Sounds amazing.
I'm hype, as babies say.
Heck.
Okay. And once again, there's another small technical issue. Roll20 is not showing all the handouts and things, so I just need to refresh it, but then I'll need to readjust.
See, in real life, if we were playing physical, it'd be like, oh, I forgot my dice in the car, and then they couldn't find it because it fell behind the back seat.
Yeah.
Or I have the book, but my cat peed on it, so I don't want to use it. But I still have it, but it's garbage.
Uh-huh.
You know, classic everyday stories that everyone has.
Mm-hmm.
So in real life things, Legend of the Five Rings came out this week, so there were launch events for that, and that was good. And it was also Bristol Anime Convention today. Bristol is where Hagrid's come from, if people need a cultural touchstone for that. So there were lots of filthy weebs everywhere, and it was great.
Sometimes I mention this every day, but every game. I live in Seattle, and sometimes you don't know if somebody's dressed as a white mage because there's a convention in town, or because they really like a certain.
Or it's just Tuesday.
It's just Tuesday. There is one fellow sticks out. Top hat, goggles, 3 jackets, very fashionable, high boots with lots of buckles, cane. That's just their style, which I am
do
very
like
envious of.
those buckles there. Oh, they're good. Lemon zips, extra zips. Oh.
Yeah, it's like if it's more than 10, it's probably Final Fantasy. If it's less than 10, could just be a person.
Oh.
A regular guy. Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, I had pants that had 2 things of unzips because they were shorts, and then they were long shorts, and then they were pants. But they weren't as cool as.
I had those,
Yeah,
but they weren't as cool as those.
Yeah.
They were just either the shorts or pants.
Yeah. See, I only
And I
had
missed
2
them.
zips.
But even one zip is pretty useful. I mean, as long as there's a zip on each leg.
Exactly.
change.
Unless you have the zip going diagonally where it just vents your leg open so you can see your knee. I mean, that's real fashion there.
The fashion statement.
Okay, 1994. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My pants have a zipper that turns all of my clothing into the Lady Gaga meat dress. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in the real world.
Yeah. And
Welcome to Vampire the Masquerade.
Everything is crushed velvet and silk.
Yeah.
And meat.
And lace.
Yes.
Crushed velvet, silk, meat, and lace. Yep.
Ship it.
Done, we did it. That's the point of this game, right? Is to
Jesus
discuss
Christ.
what games or what fabric / condiment / meats.
For sure. It's all about the fashion. Yeah, I once had...
It is, though.
Yeah. I once had a character in a... and this is maybe dating myself. In a mud that was based off of the Amber role-playing game, or at least the Zelazny books. That was part of the... he's sort of like a minor member of the Courts of Chaos, and his fashion statement was to go out into Shadow, collect a bunch of Smurfs, like well, okay, not collect them, but like summon them into a shirt, So he wore a bunch of
Imbue them into his clothing?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and others were not so happy about his fashion statement, but it was diverting.
Yeah. When I used to play MUDs, it was put on every garbage you find that another player has discarded. And that is your fashion statement.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, there's a couple of things we can do before actually jumping into like scene by scene play. One is we can do a little bit of definition of those factions and groups that are sort of unhappy with your various reigns, such as the let me see. There's a at Alaska. You have a hacker vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
And quasi there's that cult within your cult that
Yep, that's pretty cool.
They
has their
value
own
facts
agenda.
over the whole picture. Yeah, I don't like that so much.
So we don't have to go through and define them now. We can do it in play. But if you want to, there's the opportunity.
Hmm.
I also need to not forget to do beginning of session rolls for World Ruler and the Force Commander version thereof. And you can also, if there's anything you want to start with in terms of equipment or like assets that you don't already have, especially if it's say like body tags, which can be like cyberware, but it can just be, well, I want to have like an energy body, not a normal
Flesh prison?
physical carbon based flesh body or something like that. We can you can get those things now, and it may either be it may it'll probably be rolls involved. It's possible to get them without rolling.
So I know we had to. Is this part of the finishing up that we were going to do last time? That we kind of okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can leap in. I know things I want to roll for and all kinds of mess, and you know. So I'd like to maybe try and like intertwine some aspects here. So with regard to the sort of the faction within the faction that's kicking up fuss, maybe their grievance could be that I'm like, oh no, the god totally has a body and it can walk around and it's glorious, and they're like, well, can we see it? It seems reasonable, and also I wanted that mech life in my life. So can I try and roll to have a mech?
Absolutely.
What? How do I even?
Okay. So, there is a move called convenient acquisition.
Sure.
You just essentially just roll that move. And that reminds me, I did on. I hope none of you mind. I did take I did go through and calculate any changes to any like modifiers to rolls based off of your organization descriptors. Just
Cool.
so
Perfect.
you wouldn't have to deal
Thanks for doing that work for me that I wouldn't have
Exactly.
forgotten to do.
with it. No problem.
Yeah.
If you ever want to
push
do
the
math for me, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm like, uh, ooh, nice.
So you
Okay.
need to just so I know, I'm picking 3 body tags, and then there's a roll to if I want more assets.
Uh, yeah,
Because it says
there's a role for those body tags.
Mhm.
And we can handle those
Okay.
in momentarily.
Okay, sure.
Let's work out this failed convenience acquisition roll for the mech. Um,
Why is it a -4?
because it has a woofy cost of 9, uh, and is being bought by someone who has 2 woofy. So there's a pretty big negative attached to the roll.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
You get a toaster. You don't get it back.
So uh, one of the things I find fun about the convenient acquisition move is that on a miss, I get to make the choice rather than the player, and rather than just saying no, you don't get the thing. Um, uh, there's also the option of permanently reducing Woofy by 1, which wouldn't be fun right now. Um, but the really fun one is the strings attached to or problem with the asset make it worse than not getting it in the first place. So there's already the thing that it has it you know it has an appetite for copies of Quasi. Uh, sort of including the original, but uh, and it has its own agenda, um, and
Okay,
I
good
think
deal.
it's not really it's sort of encouraging that other cult as well, the subcult.
Oh, perfect. Great.
Okay. Um, so, if you decide that those complicating, I don't think you will, but if you decide that those complicating factors make it, too horrible to deal with, you can just decline the asset. Um,
Oh no, that's
yeah.
we Gucci. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I suspected. Okay. Um, so I think we're good there. Um, let's go ahead and do your body tags, Erethan.
Okay.
Okay,
So it
so
says during character creation, choose 3, but you said there were roles involved?
um, yeah, that's a uh, that is something that was not corrected in an update.
Okay.
Like it used to be,
You just
uh,
got 3,
you
but
just
now you have to roll for them?
yeah.
Okay.
Um, so it kind of matters what order you get them in.
Oh, okay.
In that uh, each one after the first will have a 1 higher woofy cost.
Sure. Which is
And I'm curious which tags are
like,
you
what one do I like the most? Like, now I have to pick the first one?
pretty much.
So, are these for just me or my people as a hive? Because I'm a hive, sort of. I'm not an individual, right? I'm the collection of the people, or I'm both.
Uh, well, uh, I think that is somewhat fluid in that you share memories,
Mm-hmm.
but you have individual personalities.
Right. Okay. Um,
Oh, and answer your question about whether or not your people all have these body tags. Uh, what is your population? Is it
City.
City sized?
It's a city sized.
Okay. So I haven't actually like defined this out, but I'll just say if you get it at if you add 2 to the woofy cost of any particular tag, you can apply it to your whole city size population.
Okay, because a lot of these are like fly, so like everyone on my planet or thing can fly. Or there was one that says hidden cavity or compartment. So I wasn't sure if. Okay, all right. So add to. So what would I have to? How would I go about getting these things? Like, what do I just roll woofy?
Yeah, you
what
just
do I
roll.
do to get a
okay,
thing? Or
so there's a on your character sheet.
Mhm.
Let me open it myself.
Yeah.
Under asset moves, there's convenient acquisition.
Asset move. Okay.
Okay. Just
So
click
it's
on
the
that.
same thing.
Yeah. And it'll ask you the woofy cost of the thing that you want to get.
Okay. So the woofy cost for body tags be, or are they all different and it's just not updated?
yeah, they're all different and it's not updated. I'm
Okay, cool. That's okay. I'm just gonna read it for a second and pick the first one.
So
and see if I can't get.
Yeah, I can either read them off or the actual the actual campaign document, which I link at some point, but I can relink if it's not handy.
I'm scrolling. There it is. Okay.
I
think
that is up to date. It has the
okay. Yeah. Okay. Scroll. So I think the first one that I'm gonna do so I'm pretty sure this is just a spelling error on the character sheet, but I think you were trying to say assets, and I'm just gonna put it in Discord because I don't want to say a swear on Twitch, or else I'll get banned for life. Prevent flipped. Is it prevent flipped assets?
It is supposed to be assets
because it's also bolded. So I'm like, I don't know if that's so I just
Okay, so where's the
so the first one.
RP, we found your wizard. We found your worst typo you'll ever make.
Not bad. It's just,
yay!
Butts. So the first one
I haven't found my wizard yet.
First one I want to try for is enhanced cranial capacity. +1 focus stats and +1 on the harm move, because I also think that makes sense with the kind of thing that I am. Like, it's about memories, and to have more memories than your own, you need more ability to remember things. And like Johnny Mnemonic, I don't want to bleed into my own brain and lose memories of my childhood before it gets downloaded into a VHS tape, then I gotta pick this thing. Remember how good that movie was, guys?
Then you make friends with a cyborg dolphin.
It's a shame. The source material was so cool.
I thought it was cool when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna watch it again, so I keep thinking that it was just a little silly. So I would roll. how much Woofy does enhanced cranial capacity cost?
So that's 2. So if you want your whole population to have it, it'll be 4.
Okay, so I will roll. No, that's wrong. Learn from me, kids. Don't have 45 tabs open. I'm kidding. I'd be confused.
Well,
with
I have not learned that lesson either.
Okay, so I don't need assets right now. I'm not doing.
Although what I tend to do is have one window open that has like 40 or so tabs, and then another
Sure.
window open that only has
Like your
that has a
main,
manageable amount.
and then
Yeah.
research. Yeah. I also want to try for an asset after this, or should I do the asset first? Does it matter which way you do it?
It's possible that there'll be an interaction that doing the one makes the other more difficult.
Okay.
But it won't necessarily make things any more difficult.
Okay. So I'll go with my body thing first, since I already have that planned, and then I'll. So, cost of asset is 4 because it's 2 plus 2, and I did
You
it.
got close.
Almost. Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah. Again, with these initial ones, I don't. I think the fun thing to do is to have it have a bunch of problems. So.
But I was so I didn't get a -4. I just got a 6. So I missed a. So what would I have had to get to succeed then? Oh, just a 7 to like Powered by the Apocalypse up to 10. Okay.
I mean, then there would have been you would have been able to choose,
and there still would have been problems.
But it's not nearly as bad as the mean things that I must do now.
You must, if you must, you
must.
I must.
So
those assets.
Let me see. I think that it would make your entire anybody who has it is more vulnerable to mindscape hacking.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And
maybe they have to come back and refresh the memories, like they can't hold the data that's not theirs. Like it has a countdown timer.
I think rather than refreshing, sometimes another part of it being more vulnerable is that sometimes memories either on their own or through some other agency get altered.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna take it. Can I not take it? Is that a thing, or do I have to take it?
You do have the option to just not take it.
I think I'm not gonna take it, because I kind of there's a lot of trust that's built into my whole scenario, and although it would help things, I can't take the risk.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can keep rolling for other things, but until your circumstances change, not for that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to add any body tags or have any assets that they want to start with?
I think I'm good. Were we going to talk about? Did I just catch a bug in my hands?
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
but that's even weirder because I don't know what that thing was.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all ghosts.
Weren't we going to talk about like factions, like what my hacker collective is, and things like that, or?
Yes, we can totally do that.
Okay.
So, yeah, we could just intersperse that in. Sure.
I think my hacker collective has been hired by the corporation that's our big bad.
Capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like they've been contracted.
Okay. And do you have a particular name in mind for these mercenary hackers?
They need a really good name. Can I make up a good name on the spot? I don't know that I can.
Yeah.
So what's their deal?
Anonymous 3000. Not a good one.
That's less than optimal.
But wait, why would they want to? Why would the corporation want to hack into my stuff? Is it because I haven't been upfront with the regional intelligence agencies, and now they're like, "What's going on this planet?" They're probably hiding something. Maybe something good.
Possibly.
I think you have some kind of like proprietary terraforming thing that's kind of unique, because there was a thing about that with the bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have to be pissed off at you. It just is, it's their nature to expand.
Mm-hmm. So maybe what they're about to do to me is install a backdoor that they can just leave open.
And we haven't named that corporation either.
You should just call it capitalism.
Capitalism Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, sure. Let's. How about?
Do we want to make any allusions with their name, or like any allusions to like Greek gods or Roman gods or anything like that? Or
We could call them the Capstone Corporation.
it could be good.
I was thinking
Capital Ventures.
ISM in capitals.
ISM.
Mm-hmm. Ism.
Oh, I see.
Like Capstone is like they're the company that you have a good product, but they're what makes it good. Like they come in at the very end, and also it has cap in it. It's a capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very easy to please.
So let's just mix the two and call it Capstone ISM.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Perfect.
Another thing we can do when we run into these name problems too that I've found is you can make a bad name at first, and then we don't have to like feel beholden to that name later, and then we can just change it.
For sure.
Yeah.
They were just a subsidiary of the real bad guy with a much cooler name all along.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like, oh, they're fighting with this small rebel group, but secretly that rebel group is part of the original. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do think that's a good name. I dig it.
Okay. So I need to find the. There we go. Okay. So for defining the hacker collective, um,
That's what I was thinking about next.
yeah. Yes, we need a name, but actually, maybe before we do name, we should do. We should go ahead and choose traits for it.
Sounds good.
So yeah, whenever you acquire a unit, or for defining out these hostile organizations, um, uh, a way of uh, sort of built into the system for defining what they're like um, is if you go to the under handouts, there's units. Um, and there's and under that there's a listing of unit traits.
Should I do this for my people too? The cult?
Yes, we can totally do that.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so
I see it.
Yeah.
What are you thinking hair triggered to mean?
That uh, like the slightest thing sets them off, not necessarily violently, but you know, they are.
They have it's like they have a zero tolerance
Yeah,
policy. Yeah. I like that. I like hair trigger.
Okay.
I'll pick that one. Sounds good. Do we want to pick more than one or
Yes.
Okay, how many?
So essentially, one each. So if uh, uh, if Adalaska or Quasi, you want to pick one?
Oh, we each pick one for his hacker collective?
Yes.
Ah,
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah, you're like, what each? And I was like, one of what?
So they're already hair triggered.
Mhm.
I think they're acquisitive. I think they like stuff.
So what is their motivation? What was their motivation for your hacker collective?
I think they're trying to, since I've kept secrecy on this planet, they're assuming that something's going on here. That
Right, they want to get your
like
secret.
they're assuming that I'm doing like some sort of criminal thing, and the only reason to do criminal type stuff is if you've got something good. So they want to see what I'm up to.
Okay.
And also, I have all the terraforming stuff.
I think in picking traits, we already discovered that they're acquisitive. So yeah, they think that they can get something from you.
I think they're green. I think it might be like your new clones who are still idealized and like true to the cause of religion and like the most questioning.
Okay.
Bright young things.
Okay. And I need to pick one that I think what I'm gonna do.
Be right back.
Okay.
Perfect.
I think what I'm gonna do is actually okay. So they are like most of them are green, but just but there's a couple of uh, like original members uh, uh, amongst them that are grizzled.
Nice.
I think you can be green and grizzled. That's kind of like Eren and Mikasa from Attack on Titan. They're both green, but also grizzled.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do we want to insert a name for them? Even if it's a bad one that we can improve on later.
Quasi's inner cult.
Well, no, this is the. This is the. Hold on.
All good.
Well, these are the hackers that are messing with you. So that's separate
Okay,
from
yeah, I
Quasi's
do have a
inner
name
cult.
for them. I'm thinking uh distant cluster.
Distant cluster. Okay.
Hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Being like a cluster of galaxies or something like that are all bound together by gravity. Hmm.
Sounds good. So, did you want to buy anything else, Aerothin?
And you are muted.
Yes,
Or acquire?
I would.
I shouldn't say buy, really.
Mhm. I think that +2 makes everything so dangerous. Um,
Well, it's
yeah,
it's only +2 because you want to share with everybody.
I know. That's my thing, though. That's like my description. I didn't. How much does augmented strength cost? I tried to.
A base of 3, so
It's
it'd be
too
5.
much. It's so expensive. Um, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for. Smart clothing. So it's a cost of 3. Oh, we got character sheet back on.
Okay, and that's just a regular asset, right?
Yeah, it's just a regular asset. Like it's not for hiding, but it is adaptive in like social circumstances.
So yeah, that starts at 1, and you're getting it for everybody. Okay.
Well,
So
those ones again.
So it's not a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
You do need to. It's not open. Probably buried.
Mm-hmm.
So you do need to choose some problems, but you get to choose the problems.
Mm-hmm. How many problems do I have to choose? 2?
2.
1? 2? So, nope. Roll20 is making things spin. Just give me a. I'll open that window again. I think. So it says smart clothing can replicate the texture and appearance of almost any outfit, but it's not designed to aid in attempts at stealth. I think that it can only replicate things from my planet. Like if there's a fancy dress masquerade on another thing, like it doesn't work. Like it's its basic clothing. It can be like a little, like there's a certain threshold of variety that it has. I can do like a jumpsuit or a regular suit or some shorts or a dress, but it can't do like a ball gown or like this specific uniform of this other place or yeah.
That's
I think
cool.
it's just not as smart as some other smart clothing. Like it's
Uh,
clever clothing. Yeah, it's
Clever
semi-intelligent
clothing.
clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Um, what else could I do? It's such a
Well, you could also just take a temporary hit to Wolfian Fortune for this session. I mean, it's the very beginning of the session, so it's not ideal in that way, but you know,
do I get it back next session?
absolutely.
All right. Yeah, I'll just do that. Like it's not as it can't change as much as normal, but I definitely am I'm slightly broke.
Okay.
So I will move my current to 3. Right?
Yep. Perfect.
Okay. Done and done.
Okay.
And I will write down I have clever clothing.
Okay. You should probably also mark your fortune as being -1, but we'll need to adjust it back up at the end of the session.
Okay.
Okay. So you said done and done, but if there's anything else that you want to pick up now,
Nobody else is getting body tags?
I'm good.
all right.
Is this the only chance to get body tags?
No, you can do it in play.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's just that
Sure.
it's
It's story narrative driven instead of just
yeah.
I think I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
The worst case I fail and then I just don't get the thing. But
So
Where are we going next?
I think let's go ahead and define capstone a little before we start, and then
I also
Yeah.
need to define my fact people.
your which ones?
The Independent Disruptive Project, the engineers that are trying to filter out the facts separate from the emotional context.
Okay.
But if you want to do capstone first, since I just did the thing. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Let's. So if I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick last again. If any one of you wants to go ahead with a trait for capstone.
I think they're patient.
Nice.
I like that. Cheap clothes, get out of the way. I think they're creative. In a sort of tactical way.
Sneaky?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are.
How are they sneaky? Do they like evade?
I think it's that they buy up small businesses and keep them running under umbrella corporations.
Well, not only that, but if someone's unwilling to sell, they'll do underhanded things,
They'll find a
Like
way around
employing
it.
a group of hackers to find a backdoor into someone's own planet, that sounds pretty sneaky if you ask me.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
Yeah. And that
Mhm.
combination of patient and sneaky is very well. The first one's free.
Oh shit, they're like ninjas. Oh no.
They're like any drug dealer. Like, I mean, yeah, if I just get a quick taste of this super drug.
Yeah.
Uh,
I kind of like the idea that they maybe, because I mean, identity theft has to be like absolutely insane in this world. I have to imagine,
Yeah.
be pretty bad news.
like as an operation, and crazy powerful as well.
So I'm kind of deciding between collectivist and individualistic. I think it's one of those two. Let's go with individualistic.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay. So, they're not horrible people. They're a little sneaky.
Hmm.
They're just business people
Yeah,
doing business.
nothing personal.
What's wrong
I
with a
think
little
they're-
business?
Yeah, exactly. I think their PR is always presents like these individual people, so and you get to know them like as people, so they don't feel like a corporation.
Oh, they
feel
have
like,
that figurehead of like
Mhm.
family company.
Yeah.
and I think they
Something
have
like that.
several figureheads, so you can they kind of trap you in that feeling like you're getting in with their in group.
Is it like boy band but businesses?
Yeah, I mean they're
There's
Exactly.
like
they're
there's
totally,
a cute one
yeah.
and there's a bad boy and
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like if you turn them down when they're proposing something, it's not that you're turning down this faceless corporation. It's your friend Bob who has offered all these nice things.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, I love this super build a personal relationship with you sort of corporation. It's a little like local coffee shop where you know everybody there,
Mhm.
and it's just like that's
It's
the
your-
glove
it's your
for the
local
hand
Starbucks.
of capitalism. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But everywhere has the same, like, manic pixie dream girl because they're like mass produced. It's like the same model in all the, space parks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is the best. I love it.
Yeah. There's that one that's like super, yeah, I was just cutting the slopes on this, and why don't you come with me next time? We could really hang out. And like is always out doing stuff, and they don't seem to be running business at all. They're just like the fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got this new
And they're paid
Ethiopian
to do
planet
that.
they're dying for you to try.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I discovered it when I was out hiking blah 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 on the planet blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I think this is the post-apocalypse where they realize that advertising at people doesn't work. You have to like get in people's in groups and like pull them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Dirty,
to find
scummy.
what stereotype, what person their friend group is missing. Like if their friend group or their business doesn't have like a motherly figure, then they push that one towards you. So you're not feeling like, oh, he's acting like Ted would. It's a new
Mhm.
trope.
You get Cinnamon Bun Mom.
This is so good.
Cinnamon Bun Mom go infiltrate friend group. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, let's take a look at these engineers who
Yes.
are have this marvelous project to provide data
No.
without the shackles
No.
of emotional context.
I like it.
it.
Mm-mm.
uh,
No. They're like the folks who peel headlines off of things without reading the actual article. No,
But it's more scientific that way.
No, what? No. Like if it was really important, it would have been in the first sentence there.
Yeah. Wait, articles are always structured, right? Well, okay. You get to pick the first trait.
I know. They're all bad. Like, what would be the worst bad? The least bad, I mean.
Oh well, I mean, you can do it off of that. I don't think that it'll help you. But
That friend is not helping. Get out of here, friend. I think they're just complaining. They're always like, "Oh, we never got those data upgrades you said we were gonna," because you said like there was a thing where I said, "Oh, we're working on getting you all these upgrades," and then I said, "Oh, it's not very secure. I don't want to release it to the public." And I think that triggered that. Well, how are we going to keep all these memories in our head? If it was just the facts, we wouldn't have to spend as much room. Yeah, I think they're complaining. I think this is all because I didn't get them the upgrades they wanted. So they're like, well, fine, we're gonna find a different way to do it.
Yeah, you're clearly doing it wrong. But I mean, isn't it obvious that using the new structure, everybody
just
would
have
have
data
access
points.
to more information overall?
Making them more efficient. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, no.
Are there like also like a number of centrists that are also like, oh yeah, sure, the memory thing is important, but we need to find which memories
there's
to cut
also
down
like,
on.
There's like sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't want to have to go head through that skiing memory, even though it like takes an insta second. Like it's not like you have to relive it in real time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just it seems to them long and inconvenient, even though in real space nothing has changed. They still get the information.
It takes up more data.
Yeah, I don't want to have to relive that skiing trip to Space Venice, when it's icy, just to remember what my password is for my Chick-fil-A. Which is a future company that's actually good and not terrible. They rebranded.
All right. So is there a trait associated with the centrists within the engineers, or?
Oh, was that going to be your word for them? Your trait?
Oh, I wasn't actually aiming towards that.
Or were you just saying? Okay.
I was just saying things.
That's how this game's played.
Yeah, well, there's like a list of traits there. I think centrist fits into that list just fine. So if you're all good with it, then we can just throw centrists exactly as the trait. Sure.
These feel like geeky people to me. I'm gonna throw in geeky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think they're a little bit reckless. Or they have reckless elements. I mean, certainly I liked having these dichotomies within these groups. Like the centrists are sort of the opposite of reckless, and there's sort of tendencies of both. Like I think like the main
the centrists could be like, oh, let's hear both sides, and the reckless are that one of those sides.
You talk about both sides. We're gonna implement this.
Yeah, we're just gonna do this. And yeah. Okay. All
okay.
right.
Cool. Oh, and does this group have a name? Maybe they're informal enough not to, but it might be better to give them a name.
I liked the FOF, Facts Over Feelings.
Okay.
And just like every band that I had a pin for in high school, the Fs are facing each other.
Yeah.
Or another one was like, there's an F, and then there's a slightly lower F, and that was like 3 bands.
Nice.
Something about that gave me a weird idea for like the suspended building that's like their headquarters or whatever, and it's literally the 2 F's facing each other, and there's like an O in the middle that's like their
There's
boardroom
2
office.
buildings with like branches going off, and then there's this orb that houses like their data project because they need a lot of space to sort the facts from the memories. So that's like the
yeah, I like
that's
that.
Like Professor Xavier's giant thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one of the F's, both of the F's contain like the 2 different factions within this organization. Like one of them has like this this powerful figure that's one of the more centrist, and the other one is the more action based.
Yeah,
and they all meet in these separate
They start you in the centrist building, but once you become more radicalized, they move you over to the other building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like any of this. Love it.
Good architecture.
The sphere of knowledge, because
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do we want to go ahead and do to check on, say, Quasi's group overall next, or do we want to take a look?
Quasi's turn.
Yeah, I think so too.
You volunteer you.
Okay.
Sure.
The other option would be to take a look at those specific subcult that's post-human and has their own ideas of how to go about progress towards. Well, maybe they have a different idea about this new goddess aborning.
Yeah, I think the subgroup is probably called like, the Illustrious Order of the Unbound Goddess, and they're on a much more like, we need to get the goddess like, out there so people can hear the good word. And I'm obviously like, we're not quite there yet. So like I'm trying to like delay, but I can't be like, look, it's not ready to go, it's still, it's only got a net whoppy cost of around 16, and that's not enough, guys. So yeah, I think that's like the main conflict. But yeah, I don't know which to do traits for first. Probably maybe the main one, because it's probably best to do the original before the offshoot.
Okay. So they're called the Illustrious Order of what?
The Unbound Goddess.
Unbound Goddess. Nice.
And is this the offshoot or the
This is the main.
No, that's the offshoot.
Oh, that's the offshoot. Okay, sorry.
The main is just called like the Worshippers.
Okay.
Marvelous.
Well, okay. So the main we haven't assigned any traits to it, but we do know that their org descriptors. So we know that they're a communist theocracy.
Sure. Okay, well, cool. So we just need to do traits for the offshoot then, and then
Yeah, I think
Gucci.
so.
Cool. And I get to pick first because it's mine.
Yes.
I'm going to say they're honourable.
Oh.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Dang.
Do your worst, everyone. Come on, I believe in you.
Remind me what the term shell-shocked means.
They have
Like
PTSD. Yeah.
They've suffered trauma or had experiences that affect them instinctually.
Ooh.
I mean, they all have memories of a very violent childhood. They had to kill a lot of people very young.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with shell-shocked for those reasons.
The only way is up, baby.
Yeah, makes sense for a mercenary, or for a portion of a mercenary crew. company.
I think for a organization that's built on like being part of like everyone started as this one thing, I think they're individualistic. And down goes Britain.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So honorable, bit shell shocked, individualistic.
I think of it like in the way that like they know best, kind of like how youths do. They think they know all the best things that are true and right. And they should act on their own, because what do these adults know / older clones? They don't know nothing.
I think they have an esprit de corps. Only they are in true communion with the goddess. They know she's ready.
Yeah. They know best. There it is.
Yeah.
Teens these.
All right. So, yeah. Before dealing with any more subgroups, let's definitely like get into things a bit. Let's so quasi or actually no Erethin or Adalaska, which one of you wants to oh no I was right in the first place, sorry. Quasi or Adalaska, which one of you wants to do that role to see how your organization as a whole is doing that
I can go first.
okay.
Marvelous. Boop, boop, boop.
Oh, and
is this
what
a role on my
is,
character sheet?
Okay. What is the name of your planetary government?
I think I'm just naming it off of my planet. I think I don't find it super necessary to rename it. I feel like the governance of Labra seems to work just fine. Oh, but it needs to be more impressive though. Something like the Radiance of Labra or the Parliament of Labra, like those bird collective nouns. Yeah.
Radiance?
Radiance is good for now. I'll
Okay.
look up some bird collective nouns and then maybe we'll change it.
Okay. I like it. So, you want to, what is I think the stat for World Ruler is actually, suave rather than, not applicable. I mean, things change around all the time. I could be wrong.
I know that feeling very well.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just gonna double check.
Yeah, I changed the stat for.
Okay. Yeah, it is suave.
Okay, great. I changed that so that it's better. Cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll it.
All right.
Wow.
So
Jesus.
yeah, there. I think that overall your people are very happy with the beauty of Labra. I mean, it's enchanting.
And how could they not be?
Yeah. And
I have a
inspirational
question
as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
So you've got like so this is sort of this period of time is sort of a flowering of the sciences for for Labra in general,
Mhm.
and you have a +1 forward to search the mindscape.
Nice.
Um,
Perfect.
so
I had a question about the roll real quick.
Uh-huh.
There's +2 being added twice in here. I have an organization modifier of 2. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Um,
And then I add my swap to that as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's from being an autocracy.
Perfect.
Okay. So under info moves on your character sheet, you can open up the if you click on the little thing beside the roll with the 4 arrows pointing out, it shows a thing for your org mod and other mod. This is another thing that we're going to have to remember to fix at the end of session. But go ahead and put +1 under other mod. And
Okay, cool. And then we clear up the other modifiers at the end of session, probably.
yes.
Just set it to 0. Cool. Gotcha.
So I want to make a quick note to myself. And the other thing that was needed cleared was the penalty to. Oh yes. That was the Marathon Fortune penalty. Cool. So, let's go ahead and jump into a scene. So,
Where we at?
yeah. So I was about to ask you that, Adalaska. Where where are you spending most of your time these days?
On the beautiful planet I made?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this is like the first scene of our game, right? And we're opening up on this horribly artificial blue sky. I imagine there's like winds that blow like kind of sticky blue mist through the atmosphere. And we pan down and what's happening? What are we doing here?
Okay.
Who's here?
So yeah, that's an interesting question as to who is here. So if it would make sense for either Erethin or Quasi to be hanging out at this moment, they can be.
I could be trying to get the the machine that I want.
Yeah, I mean, this is up to you, Adalaska, if you think that they would be there. You could just do it on your own with NPCs, or
nah.
Yeah. or either a daze or a spook are have the option of saying that they would like to for this scene play functionaries in your in your I guess it's not a parliament. I mean, your government is an ad hoc autocracy.
Mm-hmm.
But
but I have advisors.
Yeah,
I listen to people.
Like whenever you say people, and it just scans over to like you, slightly younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they could be either autarchs who are there, or they could be just denizens who are not who may have information about the outside society, but they haven't really managed to get their heads around how meta society works, and thus have not become full autarchs.
Nice. So who wants to be here of the people that are talking here? Who wants to have their characters here?
I feel I would be there on business. So if you feel you have needs of services, I feel I would be there, but I don't know if I'd be there on a social call. But I'm happy to be a crazy sniveling advisor to you.
Maybe I only rarely open for business. Like I spend ooh, I like this idea. I spend years at a time only being on vacation and doing pleasure things on my own planet. And
10
I only
days of work, 10
barely
years
for
of vacation.
exactly. And I only very seldomly and only for a few weeks at a time take care of actual business or do things like purchase another planet and set roots there. So I feel like this is one of the few times that both of you can do business with me or talk to me about business type things.
My person's definitely there then, trying to talk you into not trying to terraform my whole planet and just giving me the machine I need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what does your throne room look like?
Yeah. So we know that it has the skies that that perfect shade of cerulean that you were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's perhaps just slightly too vivid, or maybe not. Maybe it's just the level of vivid that you always imagined a sky should be.
Yeah, I feel like my floor is very nice dark gray, but it's iridescent and it flashes into the color of the sky, toned down a little bit, so because I didn't quite get the sky right. Perhaps because my example picture is iridescence, and it's really hard to copy that. I want all of us to be to leave here happy. What do both of you want to walk out of here with?
So I am currently 6 individuals that are dressed all in not quite cerulean blue, but variations of a shade from teal to blue. They changed their color to match the aesthetic because they found that that's more efficient. Somebody came in orange once and you just wouldn't see them.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think I'm just that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Nice.
Stand over there behind the bush and I'll talk to the rest of you.
Because you're a collective anyway. If I'm talking to one of you, I must be talking to all of you.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Mhm.
I think that's the thing. The stigma is like, well, it's not exactly like that, but explaining to you like ruined another meeting. Like you're like
Mhm.
King John. You can't correct you at all.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Yeah. It's,
Mhm.
mhm.
You're like, yes, true. I was like, yes, we have taken some of your suggestions under advisement, as we said we would over the past few years, and tinted the majority of our outerlying foliage to be a more vibrant but darker green. And if you would just, once again, we entreat you to allow us access to the plans of that machine, I'm sure we could do so much more with your subtle suggestions. Like there's that pause, like we have to be very careful because like verbal agreements are. Because
Yeah, exactly.
if everything's in memory, and be like, oh, well, you said this, and 8 people remember it exactly that way.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I think I'm
yes.
reclining on my throne, and my frill of tendrils is just like waving
Oh, yes.
majestically, and I say,
forgot you
These
were
are
cat.
energy tendrils, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, some of them are actual physical, like dark tentacles, and others are like bright energy behind it.
Mm-hmm.
What does
And
the throne itself look like?
oh, it's dark gray and not iridescent.
Okay. For contrast,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you would want
Also,
your throne to
because
show you up.
I don't want the throne to distract from me.
Mm-hmm.
I am the thing. I am the focal point of the throne, not the throne itself.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And is this like a court that's outside, or does it just have like a clear roof so that you can see the sky, or some other option?
I have something that I like. Um, it's open air, so like all of the spots where you would expect to be windows, there are no windows at all. It's just open to the outside, and you can hear like the kind of like grinding noise of the planet
Isn't your
and the
planet
industry.
radioactive?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Mhm.
Cool.
Mhm.
Sure.
And I think it's kind of like framed by a bunch of pillars that kind of like right around the edge that hold up the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like this planet is like slightly low gravity.
Okay. So one of my people checks their suit, and they just like look at their hand, and like a little bar has the radiation symbols, and it's like dropping slowly. Like they have a certain time limit they have to get this done by.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I say, do you even know what's on the to-do list to renovate your planet?
Yes, you have sent us um, entire ships loaded with the data and specifications that you have discovered would be optimally visually pleasing, and we have
Yes.
taken those into consideration.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think
Perhaps I
there's
need
two
to pay you a
different
visit.
definitions of taking into consideration.
yeah. So you hear they're gonna do it, and we hear we looked at them. Yeah. Yes. And plans are being made now to investigate the implementation of several of your ideas.
Excellent. Art takes time.
Yes.
I will wait another 3 years, and then I'm going to pay a visit to your planet.
That is what you said 5 years ago. Do you have a title?
I don't think so. Just call me by my
Okay.
name.
And that I remember is at
At
Alaska.
Alaska, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, at Alaska, and you did say you would visit last time, and we have been eagerly awaiting your visit. But also keep in mind that we are not a subsidiary of your organization, and we have made that clear in the past. We are a business and wish to provide a business transaction, and we will work with you in whatever you require as to getting off-site, off-planet negotiations for other places that are not our own home. And you expressed your understanding of this the last time we were here.
Yes, which is why I'm willing to wait another 3 years and even more, as long as your planet is what we both seek. Wait, you don't own a planet, do you? You own
Yeah.
like a...
Yes.
Yeah, I have a planet. I have my
Okay, cool.
own planet. It is not your planet, sir.
Dope.
And I think, as you know, the machine we are going to get from you would bring us ever closer to our collective ideal of our civilization. But without it, we are beset ever presently by dangers in the terrain and organics that currently flourish in our ecosystem. So having that machine would help us help you help us.
Tremendous.
And the
I
sooner that
currently
would
have
be...
I currently have no need for it. Please take it on your way out. And I use that. You can tell that I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to organize the transport of that. And I expect
it's
that
like,
you can't.
you can have this, but you have to find your... Like, yeah, I have this couch for free, but it's 14 feet long and 500 pounds, but you have to move it.
Yeah, but it's yours for free.
How kind and
Because I'm letting you
understanding
borrow.
your
It's-
keen, beautiful eyes are. And they bow. And they leave. And then they start whispering amongst themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And none of you would dare conspire against me. So
no, because we finally got you to say that we could take it. Like, this is...
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they will stay on planet, like, circulating out people so they don't die of radiation poisoning. Because you said when they leave. So if they leave without it, he'll say, "Oh, you didn't take it. I guess you didn't want it." It's
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is there something that you're trying to achieve with this gift? Beyond the
yeah,
quandary
was there a
of
trade that... I didn't know if you had a thing that you wanted from us. So I wasn't sure how to...
Well, I mean,
to
not
that.
necessarily as a trade, but if you're trying to get some in on their society, or
I think I super value social currency and recognition. So the things that I want from you are like recognition that I let you borrow my terraformer.
Sure. I also like that it's borrow, because if it...
Yeah.
does it need to be on constantly for it to work? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll find that out as we play. Two, I like that you aren't one of the people that are on my old planet that are like, you ruined our atmosphere. So I like that you're cooperating, and I want it to stay that way.
Oh, we're definitely cooperating.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as you present to me that you're cooperating, that's all I care about.
Yeah. We've learned over the past few decades how
Yeah,
best
exactly.
to soften an approach. And
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where we send you postcards of like a zoomed in plant, but everything else is the same outside of that picture. Yeah, so you're like, oh, they're doing what I said. Yes.
Yeah.
I
think you're encouraged to send pictures because each time you send a picture, I send a thank you card with like little gifts in it. And they're not weird gifts. I'm not sending you like uranium or something like that.
Just a piece of basalt. What is the? It's like, make your roads like this color.
Yeah.
Like paint swatches via materials.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And I also send you like jewelry that's in the same color as inspiration. Yeah.
Like things that in a smaller civilization be like super either banal or very rare, and you just like, oh, this exact tint of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think as the group leaves, there's a petitioner who's got this blinding white smile and looks that are like just the way their features happen to be constructed, maybe like fit the aesthetics of the room just perfectly. Like it yeah.
They were engineered for this room to sign a petition. Okay.
And they lift an eyebrow as you walk out and bow low as they approach the throne. But we don't actually see what they say. But
sure.
And I think not as a bit of information that is available to the characters themselves, but from the perspective of a viewer who is not just watching it on television, but has access to like maybe the perspective from a reader of the story. They see a mindscape contact from the petitioner to someone saying initiating first contact now. An opportunity has arisen. And they are quite striking. So if you'd like to say get like a first impression of them, like of what they're about, I think there's an opportunity to do so. Not that I want to shove a move down your throat or anything. I mean, you can.
No, I like that because it's either I make the move because I'm what's the word? I'm experienced. I'm like canny to these sorts of things, or I don't make the move because I'm ostentatious and naive. And I don't know which one I am. I think I'm going to go with being naive. So I take what I take this person and their beautiful smile at face value.
Okay.
What do they do next?
Um,
They say like a glimmer to light up my courtroom, and I say this to everyone, but I say it a little more emphatically than normal.
okay. Well, actually, I'd like to stick a pin in it and
Sure.
come back to this.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. So let's see. We've been going for an, uh, well, like 15 minutes shy of 2 hours. Let's take a short break.
Sounds great.
Okay.